Here's 7 tips I wish I learned earlier in my pickleball career. I'm sharing them with you so your skill level goes through the moon. Make sure to stay around till the end of the video. Tip 7 has completely revolutionized my game. Tip number 1 is after you hit your 3rd shot drop and you're approaching the kitchen line, you normally find yourself having to hit a reset from the middle of the court from here. The tip that I want to share with you, I actually just implemented into my own game after playing professionally for over a year, so this will help your game big time, is instead of hitting that reset straight ahead, it's best to always hit your resets cross court. So I would be aiming there as opposed to straight. The reason is, when you reset straight ahead, this person is leaning in. You don't have much room to work with. Look, you only have from like here to hit the ball with somebody leaning in. That's extremely difficult. If you're cross court, now look at how much room you have. So now you have from here over to here. There's like an extra 2 feet that goes such a long way. As well, the net is 2 inches lower in the middle, so you'll find your balls go over much more. Jumping out of the video for one quick second. Guys, if you're enjoying this, please press that subscribe button. I put so much time and effort into these videos. That is a great way to help me out. Okay, that's all. Let's get back to the video. Get you better. Let's go. Tip number 2 is how to handle an aggressive dink. The common mistake amateur players make is they'll be dinking cross court like this, and then when somebody hits an aggressive ball to them, they, watch my paddle, they drop their paddle head and bunt the next ball forward. What this does is it gives the opponent a dead dink to dictate the point. Instead, the trick is right when you see that aggressive ball coming to you, instead of dropping the paddle, I actually want you to keep your paddle completely sideways and try to take it back cross court like this, almost like you're nudging the ball. The second part of that you might not have noticed is the footwork. When I see my opponent hitting an aggressive dink to me, I like crossing my feet and cutting that ball off. And the reason is, if somebody hits a sharp dink out wide, it's going to be traveling quickly. So it's going to be hard to catch up to it by going like this. The ball will just come off the court. The key is you see them hit a sharp dink, you cut it off immediately. Look at that. If the ball comes here, completely cut off, as opposed to trailing it and reaching. Tip number 3 is how to defend against somebody's overhead smash. The scenario is this. You and your partner are dinking, one of you pops it up, the opponent has a high ball. Instead of just standing here and taking it, what we want to do is right when we notice that ball pops up, we want to take as much ground back as possible and have a low ready position. So when they smash, we're here ready to defend. So the key to the timing is right when the ball pops off your paddle and you see the opponent going to smash it, you want to take as much ground back as possible right before they make contact to the ball. So you might only be able to get 1 step back, or you might be able to get 4 or 5 steps back. The trick is you don't want to be moving backwards while the ball is being hit. Right when it's about to be hit, stop moving and prepare for that shot. Tip number 4 is you're at the kitchen line, the opponent is at the baseline and drives the ball at you. You're here and miss it into the net. Why is that? It's because your timing is wrong. I can almost guarantee you that when somebody's hitting the ball hard at you, your paddle is probably here, too close to your body. And as that ball is coming in, you're reaching for it. And in this time frame, that is where the error happens. The way you counteract this is when you see somebody driving the ball, you should already be out in front like this. So when the ball comes, all you're doing is reacting to what side it's on. Granted, you get more power like this, but you're more likely to hit it into the net. So if you're nervous or somebody drives the ball hard, already be all the way out. You'll never miss short again. The key for you to remember when you're blocking the ball out in front is not that you're trying to hit a winner with a ton of power. All you're trying to do is survive the drive and keep it in play. So it's not like you're hitting a missile back, but you are neutralizing their drive and forcing them to play another ball as opposed to you going for a superhero, really hard shot. Tip number 5 is how you determine whether you hit a third shot drive or third shot drop. There's 2 scenarios for each, the drop and drive. We'll start with the drive, and the first one is if your opponents hit a really strong return that lands really sharp and you're off your back foot, you want to drive this ball so you can look to get back in the point. It's next to impossible to hit a drop like this. You're better off ripping it and looking to reset the next one. Scenario 2 is if your opponent hits a return that lands short in the court and bounces high, like this, about thigh height or higher. You want to drive this ball because you're at the advantage. Put the pressure on the opponents. Now, for when we should drop. Scenario 1 is if your opponent hits a mediocre or average return that lands somewhat near the baseline, but it doesn't have a lot of speed or a lot of spin. We want to drop this ball because there's not much on it and we're able to hit it into the kitchen in full control. Scenario 2 is if we get a shallow return that lands low, like this. I want to drop this ball. I wouldn't want to rip it from down here. Tip number 6 is the secret to having fast hands. This starts by understanding how we win a hands battle. Most players think that you want to hit it hard through the person's chest. That's not the case. The way you win a hands battle is to hit the ball down to your opponent's knees so they're forced to hit up on the next ball, giving you an easy smash. Pay attention to how my body and feet are completely still. I'm not stepping around. Along with, I'm cocking my wrist and snapping at the ball. This is where the power comes. Wrist is cocked the entire time. It should look like this. We are not pushing. That's how it goes straight. Wrist cocked, goes down. Tip number 7 is what you should be thinking when cross-court dinking. The mistake amateur players make is they dink the ball just to dink the ball. The entire purpose of dinking is to get a pop-up that you can attack. The correct way is when you're dinking cross-court, as soon as you hit a ball that you feel like is a good shot that may give your opponent trouble, instead of standing here and watch it, you want to hit that dink and reach in, shrinking the kitchen, making your opponent feel your presence. Look where my foot is. I'm over the center line. I'm not standing here watching it. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I post a video just like this every single week. Ridley, any famous last words?
Today's video was, there was a lot of adversity. We got through it. You're the best, Tanner.
It was good.